Hello. Owning a pet in Canada has its own rights and responsibilities, and for pet lovers that decide to have this as companions, it's important for you to understand the regulations, the rules that are also binding for you to be a pet owner here in Canada. So I'm going to be sharing some few key points that makes you understand what your responsibilities should be like when you decide to own a pet in Canada. In Canada, Canadians have the right to own pets, and by law, pets are also categorized as part of your property. It is your responsibility to keep them safe, to care for their needs, and to ensure that everything regarding their well-being is well taken care of. So the way you take care of your child, good nourishment, well-being, ensuring that they have medical care, ensuring that they have everything, regular feeding, exercising, taking them for a walk, all those kind of things are the responsibilities of a pet owner. You are also meant to provide shelter for them, water that they drink, good coverage from the winter, from the heat. You must ensure that they are well taken care of, and this is not the way, the pets are categorized as another human in the house. For people that love pets, you are supposed to take good care of them the way you would your child that you actually birthed. So that means you must care for them in the same manner, the way you actually take good care of your own child. By law, that is your own responsibility. So if you're looking forward to owning a pet here in Canada, you need to understand all these rules and regulations and look at it vis-a-vis your schedule. It's easy to take your pets during the summer, the spring. Even if you have to take them for walks, it's easy because maybe during your regular exercises, if you are one, or you're just taking a stroll down your street, you can take them. But pets also must have a regular routine, so you don't have to change their cycle. They know when to poo, they know when to wee, they know the timing, when you actually walk them around these schedules. They know when to do that, especially when it has to do with their regular walks in the mornings or in the evenings. Those are the kind of times when their bowels will move. So you can't just feel like, I'm not walking this dog today, and then your house is full of poo, because the dog knows the timing and is used to it over a period of time when you have trained this dog to understand the cycle. So please, you need to understand this. And then there are also regulations in the sense that when you are taking your dog for a walk, you need to have a bag to be able to pick up their poo on the way. So don't mess up the road, don't mess up the streets with your dog poo, because they have to do that thing on the road, right? They don't have a special place to do it, except you could buy them a potty in your house. But really, dogs do these things on their way. And for dogs as well, when they also have to urinate around, it also helps them know their way around. But I'm not sure dogs are let loose to walk around. But in my own country where we came from, dogs can be roaming around the streets. They just wee in some strategic areas, and that kind of leads them to their owner's house. But really, when you see dogs around, you see their owners with them, with leeches in their mouth, on their neck, taking them around so that they don't, just go off boundary. For some provinces in Canada, you also have to have your pet's license, as in get a license for ownership. So you need to find out what this entails. It depends on what province you will be staying in and all the regulations that follow owning pets within that province. And I mean the owners of the pet will be having the license, not the pets themselves. So if you're a dog lover and you need a dog or you want to own a dog, you need to have a license to own that dog. And this operates in some provinces, not entirely all provinces. So you need to find out what works in your province so that you are guided by the law of what is operating based on pet ownership within that province. So as an immigrant, if you're coming to Canada and you want to bring your pet or you want to get a pet here, you need to also understand the regulations regarding tenancy and pets within that housing property that you want to rent, because some property owners don't want pet owners to rent their homes, so they want it to be pet free. They say this is a pet free rental. So you also need to check that on the listing when you're looking to renting. And if you want to bring pets or you want to own pets, you must also check that they accept pets. So that is also one thing for you to look out for, so that you don't go rent a property and then you bring in pets and it becomes a concern. You are going to be evicted definitely, because you've gone against the rules of engagement for that property or leasing that property. If you're also going to be traveling with your pets, there are requirements as well. I know you must also have some health certifications for those pets and some quarantine requirements that has to be in place for you to be able to travel with this pet. So because they are humans, they are categorized as such, you don't also just take them like that. So you have to follow the requirements that are binding for you to travel with pets. Whether you're going by air, you also need to be able to follow those regulations before you can bring them to Canada. So I mentioned that when you're walking your dog, you have leeches, unlike back at home that dogs are let go. Some have leeches too, but they're kind of, I don't know whether there's a rule or not, but some people still have their dogs walking around without leeches, except they are wild dogs, really. But here, your dogs must have leeches. So when you're moving around with them, even on the street, you don't want them to go and constitute another harm on another person that is just walking on the street. So by law, you must have leeches on your dog to be able to hold them back if they really want to go out of line. And of course, depending on the kind of dogs that you have or the kind of breeds that you have, there are some training requirements. So you also want to get them trained to know how to do stuff, like sit down, get up, do this, do that. So they're kind of a companion for people at home as well. So people just love to have them as a companion at home, just to keep them company. I know I'm talking about dogs. Pets are also cats. Other people have cats, some have dogs. But as they become companions to you, they become very emotionally attached to you. And as they become emotionally attached to you, it's like a child. I always equate them to a child, because those that have them really bond with them like children. And when you lose one of those, it's always very dramatic for the owners as well. So you have to be able to weigh these options. If you also have children or people that can also help you take care of this pet, it's really good, because sometimes when you're alone, it's difficult putting all these things together with your work, your regular 9 to 5 and other things that you have to do as a human being on your own. So if you are a pet lover and you have all the time to take the pet to the vet, take the pet for a walk during the snow, during the winter, the thick winter, and all those unfavorable weather conditions, and then their food too, they have in fact one aisle in the Real Canadian Superstore, aisle 1, they have their aisle there where you can get their food, you can get their leeches, you can get so many things. You can really get so much for them on aisle 1 in Real Canadian Superstore, and some other stores really that sell pet items or food. So I know they are also not cheap. So you must also check your budget to be sure that you can accommodate this in your resources, because going to the vet, buying their food, getting all that they need during the winter, during the snow, regular injections, and so many things, really, so many things to be able to keep them safe. And I know that I think during the onset of spring, or is it winter, there's always a way that tick gets on them. So you also want to get them immunized before the season. You know, there are just so many things, calendars to watch for them, to make sure that they're just safe for each season. So you don't want to have a dog filled with tick within the house where you also live. So you have to get them immunized against that, so they don't have tick stuck on their bodies, because I don't like it. We've had experiences like that back at home in Nigeria when we had dogs that we were also breeding, and this tick have no mercy. So you want to keep the dog safe, because they can actually kill the dog. You know, they suck their blood while they stick on them, and you know, they stick like, I am not leaving this dog. So please, all these are requirements that you need to take note of while you are thinking of getting a dog or owning a dog. And of course, you have the rules of engagement to also comply with as a citizen, or as an immigrant in Canada, or as a resident in Canada, if you really want to own a dog. So I thought to bring this your way. I know so many dog lovers that are also worried or concerned about owning a dog, or how do I care for a dog. There are also some dogs that have been rescued, right, that you can probably go buy, or I think they give it for free. I know some people talk about these things, but it's worth finding out if you're a dog lover. I know dogs are not cheap. They are also an investment. So buying them at a very small size when they are really young or newborn is going to cost you quite a bit as well, not to talk of the big ones. But you want the small ones to be able to also grow into, right, so that as they grow, they know you, they understand, you know, all the things that you do around your space, and you know, you guys just grow up together. But it's also an investment, so please take note of that when you are looking at owning a dog. So with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to elaborate to you the rules and the reasons why you can have a dog, and you know, just follow the regulations really, and I think all should be well with you. Thank you for watching, and see you on another vlog. Bye.